And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon and welcome to the market recap for Thursday, May the 5th, May Day. I think we're all going to need a margarita after this one. Started the day off with a song called Never Going Back. Well, guess what? We went back. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Hopefully you didn't get in trouble today. Hopefully you found some decent opportunities. I know it was a tough day. Just a complete reversal of what we did yesterday and then some. Seems the weight of inflation and other things has finally gotten to equity futures. It was the worst down day so far this year that I can tell. NASDAQ, last I checked, was down 5.5%. E-mini S&P's down 3.9%. The Dow futures down 3.4%, down about 1,100. We've now seen the cash market close. We saw the markets come off the lows a little bit at the end of the day there. I'm expecting that to be just chalked up to some short time frame profit taking for those that did end up getting short on the way down here today. But good news, our good friend Jim Cramer sees inflation is peaking. He had some not so good ideas around 2009, if I remember right. But hopefully he is right. Hopefully this is all going to turn around and we're going to get back to continuing the grind to the upside eventually. That will happen. We don't know when. I'm not looking at my 401k. It would scare me, and I just don't want to see it. I know I'm in there for the long haul, and I'm confident that this too shall pass. Apparently, the U.S. Senate panel, a panel has passed, they're calling it the NOPEC bill. They're going to open up OPEC producers to U.S. lawsuits over price gouging. OPEC had their meeting today, and of course they are going to fall short of their production quotas, keeping the price well above $100 a barrel. Powell is standing by his statement that 75 basis point rate hike isn't being actively considered. But futures have shown a 75% probability of a 75 basis point hike in June, the June FOMC meeting. Just taking a look at what the markets did today. We're going to check that out in the charts shortly. OPEC continues to fall short of production quotas, again, keeping price well above $100 a barrel. We saw that breakout yesterday. We saw some continuation of it. It's fallen off the highs there pretty considerably, but we're going to have to see what kind of open interest we added to that market today. Even the S&Ps and the NASDAQ bond yields finally ripped to the upside, creating higher rates and inflation. Higher rates and inflation dampen the taste for risk. The tech companies really took the worst of the downside today. Gold higher rates made the dollar firm up a little bit, taking stores of value to the downside. Bitcoin down about 10% today. Gold actually held up relatively well. If you remember, we had a big overnight inventory to the upside. That inventory to the upside really just brought price relatively close to settlement by the close of the day today. So no real big down day, just a reversal of a big up overnight. The euro, strong dollar, and technical rejection in that when we closed that gap yesterday, or in the overnight, sends price back into that area of balance we've been in. 10-year rate rip tears price lower. And the natural gas closes higher, but not before filling the gap down below. We saw that this morning. We talked about the possibility that might need a little repair before the market continues the upside move. Again, we'll see that on the charts. As usual, make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, love, and heckling are always welcome here on the market forecast or recap. Good afternoon, everybody. Dan and Jack send their apologies. They got busy taking care of some other business today and asked that I would finish up the day with a recap today, and I'm always up for doing that. I always have a pleasure talking trading with traders. Brett, good to see you. Tachyon, James, Brian, Scott Saw. A recap on Thursday. Yes, a recap on Thursday. Hopefully you did conquer today. Tachyon put up a nice profit in his practice account today, but that's a good thing. Rick, another day in paradise. Absolutely. Spencer still slept in this morning and missed Make Hogue Money. Did you guys end up taking a short or what? No, we didn't. Just following what the community was talking about. I looked at a short, and it was at the high of overnight value high, or no, yesterday's volume value high. We can take a look at this, but I didn't get the chance to vote on it, and the market moved away from it too quickly. So just following what they were wanting to do, we did end up taking a trade. We took a small loss on it. I'm considering that a victory for today. Denise, good afternoon. Denise, seeing a little coyote walking around outside my fence every morning lately. I think they're looking for somebody. Jackalo, good morning. Dan Emmons, slaughtered like a turkey on Thanksgiving dinner. Ouch. Hopefully it's not that bad. Joe, thank you. Long time no see, Devontae. Amazing day for you. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Dan, ES and NQ back to 10 a.m. Central levels right now. Yeah, you get a nice pullback off of there. Most of the damage apparently was done before noon, and it was from the very beginning. We left the opening range at the high of the session. We just never really looked up until this last half an hour when, of course, we're likely to see some profit taking at that period of time. So, yeah, the special situation worked textbook. Absolutely. We were talking about that. We were looking at it. We asked, and the team didn't really seem all that interested in it. So we ended up not taking the special situation trade, and that was a mistake. We should have really kind of focused on the idea that the opening range at the dead-ass high of the day was an ominous sign. But hey, we're always learning. We're always looking for opportunities, and I'm looking forward to next Make Hogue Money on Tuesday. Maybe we'll knock it out of the park then. Yeah, value area high to base of spike. Absolutely. That's where we looked for the long. We should have gone the other direction once we got down below there and started showing any sign of acceptance inside value from yesterday on that trade this morning. So glad to see everybody. Let's take a look through these charts and see what we see. Let me get them up here. Here we go. Starting with the daily in crude, yesterday we knew that we had a potential breakout to the upside. We weren't all that impressed with the amount of open interest. As a matter of fact, there was a small drop in open interest on this day yesterday. We did have some decent volume. Look at where the market traded down to before continuing to find that support. 106.45, 106.50 weekly kickoff high. What was resistance has become support. I know that there are those that don't agree with that, but it certainly worked out for us today. We opened with a gap. We tried to move higher. We pulled back to weekly kickoff high support, and we ended up just kind of rotating back to the center of value, relatively close to the point of control is where we're going to end up seeing settlement. Settlement should be somewhere right around 108, 108.20 in there somewhere. Boy, tomorrow's going to be an interesting one. Take a look at the S&Ps. So by the close today, we really didn't change market state much. We're still in the area of balance that we kind of pointed that out yesterday. We traded to last week's high. We traded through last week's low, but didn't close down below that. The market really is, I would call it, still in a downside digestion or in a basic consolidation area here. All right, so here's where we were. This is what we were looking at this morning. What could we have noticed? We knew we had a big late spike. The market at the end of the day, and Anne Marie pointed this out, when we closed up there, we didn't continue. We kind of waffled. We never took out the regular trading hour session high yesterday and the overnight, and the trend in the morning before the open was largely to the downside. When we left the opening range, the high of the session, which has not been a particularly successful trade lately, maybe we should start looking at it again. The market started to move to the downside. Now, in the first half hour, we traded to volume value high. We started talking about, all right, the volume value high, the TPO value high was basically at the base of the late spike. But when we started to get some acceptance, showing some time, showing some volume inside volume value high from yesterday, we could have kind of started looking for the opportunity for us to take that trade to the downside. Because once we re-accept inside value, there's a high probability that price could trade all the way through value to the other extreme, which is, in essence, what happened, and then some. So if we missed a couple of things this morning, that's in Make Hogue Market, Make Hogue Money, that's okay. We're going to be continuing to look at things, learning, and when you guys come up with trades and we vote for them, you vote for them, we take them, we're going to get this. So we kind of went down back through last week's low and closed back above it. So I don't think that the volatility for the last couple of days should scare us. I'm more frightened if we start to dig to the downside. And that is a distinct possibility, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of inflation, a lot of rate hikes, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things going on. These markets are very resilient. I try and remind myself of that just about every day. And they find ways to survive. 12,610 is weekly kickoff low. We've yet to get a good look at that here in the NASDAQ. Similar situation, but again, a little bit different. Why is this thing giving me a hard time? Thank you. Thank you. Opening range high of the session, but value was up higher. Same situation, though. And when we finished the day, we didn't continue. We kind of waffled. We didn't take out the overnight, the regular trading hour session high in the overnight, and the trend was already to the downside, leaving the opening range to the upper extreme. We really should have been looking for opportunities to sell this market right off the open. And if we did, we could not have lost money. Well, I guess we could have with bad trade location, but eventually this market did rotate. And trade two, where's my low from last week? These platforms. Last week's low. Right about here. So back down below last week's low and back above it. Just wish one time I could say, this is what's going to happen, and have it happen. But we don't get that ability. Gold. Here's the daily. We were trying to get to the upside. We did overlap higher in range. We are one time framing off that low still. We had some pretty decent volume on this. But remember, that big move to the upside happened in the overnight. This was all regular, started here, but we continued in the overnight. And by the time we opened up, we were a little bit too expensive. We tried to continue, couldn't even check this naked point of control. The market turned around and traded right back to last week's high, just around 1870, and you get a little bit of a dead cat bounce there. Meow. What's a 250-pound cat say? Meow. All right, enough jokes. Here's the euro. We had that big move up yesterday that tried to close the gap. We looked up at that area again today and rejected. Oh, yeah, 4 more rate hikes this year at least. Yeah, I was looking at that Twitter. Closed higher today. I guess Elon got another 9 million in commitments so that he can buy Twitter. So here's that move up yesterday, closing up there. Did we take out that high? No, we almost took out the high of that gap. Again, we were talking about that being close enough. Opened below that gap and waffled a little bit, and then right back into the area of balance that we've been in for the last now 6 sessions. The 10-year. Ooh. We're in Make Hope Money, and I forget who it was, what somebody was saying, the Ultra Bond is getting killed. The Ultra Bond is getting killed. Well, we had our spike in rates today. Of course, we're going to. Here's the 30. Opening above value. We were looking like, okay, well, we know rates are going higher, and we're going to look for an opportunity to get back into range. Value area special situation play would have worked out for us within a couple of hours and then some. And again, we got some nice profit taking at the end of the day here. There's the short time frame buyers just taking care of taking some profits on a big move today. CNBC has markets in turmoil. Imagine a world with no markets. Ooh, good. I just scared myself. Oh my goodness. What the heck would I do? Here's the net gas. We were looking at the open interest was, let me see this. We added 12,000 in open interest. So there was, I thought, little question that the auction process to the upside was largely intact here. And look where we are now. We did rotate higher throughout the day. And we talked about this gap down here being somewhat of a magnet for traders' eyes. And when traders are looking, they tend to make price go there. And it ended up being too cheap. We couldn't even check this naked point of control. It's been all to the upside ever since. I'm going to venture a guess, and everything in futures is a guess or a hypothesis, that we are going to see another increase in open interest in nat gas tomorrow. Stay tuned to As the Markets Turn. Answers to the questions you're asking today will come tomorrow. Our heroes, ES and NQ, did not have a very good episode today. We have to see what happens tomorrow. Typically, I usually talk about what's gone on in the world in the past here. I haven't even had the chance to look. Let's see if there's any positives that we can see that has happened on this day in history. On May 5th, 1961, Alan Shepard was the first man in space, American in space. Reminds me of the Muppets. Pigs in space. What else? 1904, Cy Young pitches the first perfect game in MLB history. 1921, Chanel No. 5 perfume launches. 2002, Spider-Man becomes the first movie to top $100 million in its opening weekend. That's what I should do. I should make a movie. Oh, what about in music? What happened on this day in music? Whose birthday is it? Which rock star was born today? Tammy Wynette, 1942. 1956, Elvis Presley scored his first number one single and album when Heartbreak Hotel went to the top of the charts today in 1956. Rick, I think you remember that. Bill Ward's birthday is today. Bill Ward was the drummer for Black Sabbath. I remember hearing this song on the beach. 1979, Peaches and Herb. Name the song. 4-week run at number one. Anybody that can name the song, you're going to win the prize today. Peaches and Herb, 1979. Adele was born today in 1988. I didn't realize she's older than I am. Huh. It's about enough of that. All right, what's the song? That's a good idea for tomorrow. Gimme Shelter, right? As the evergreen turns. That's all right, level 2. He's used to it. We got to give ourselves a hard time. Does anybody know the name of the song? Anybody knows? Anybody know the name of the song? Anybody know? Let's see here. Uncertainty remains for sure. Mike, you're going to have to tell me what your day 126 is. That in the year is tomorrow. That's 6:15 and 2/6. You have to tell me what your timing and days, something like that. Level 2. There's so many Fed speakers tomorrow. Is jawboning the name of the game tomorrow. They're going to be really, I hope they're going to be really careful about the things that they're going to say and what they're allowed to say and that they stick to those. Dan, yeah, that was you noticing the ultras today. Yeah, Bitcoin took it on the chin today. Positives were all still alive, 100%. Gimme Shelter. All right, so who knows the name of the song? No, good question. Good, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. There you go. That's another good song. The song we were talking about by Peaches and Herb in 1979 was Reunited. And hopefully, those that lost their money today will be reunited with their money tomorrow. Actually, a good song. A good summer song, girlfriend, boyfriend kind of thing. Let's see. I just feel like letting it just kind of letting it all relax a little bit. It was a stressful day. Yeah, so here's Reunited. Top of the charts, 1979 today. Kind of sappy. It's nice and relaxing. I can do that right now. Down days are exhausting. All right, enough of that. I think Mr. Valentine, my brother, has set the price for tomorrow morning. It's going to be Gimme Shelter. It's got to be. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. Tomorrow's Friday. It's unemployment. We got more information, more possible market jarring news. Be ready. Get some rest. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Keep saying prayers for world peace. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. Have a great evening. Blessings to you all.